I mentioned how they're a very chill band, and you're like, everything on your list has been chill.
It's true.
And Coldplay is very chill. And the next album is very chill. And it's not until number 4 that, I will say, though, there are some songs on this album that, first of all, everyone already knows. It's kind of the album that put them on the map. But without getting too far ahead of myself, I listened to this album for the first time probably in college. I think it was another one of those where I saw it a bunch of times at Disc Replay and Half Price Books. And unlike Augustana, who I had never heard of before, I had heard of Coldplay. We all had heard of Coldplay. There were plenty of gym assemblies that would use clocks that during like the inspirational speeches that they would bring people in to do, So I knew about Coldplay, and I didn't know about this first album, but it had the song Yellow on it. And Yellow is an essential part of every Walgreens core playlist. I feel like a lot of people know the song Yellow, and I had been listening to a lot of Coldplay's newer stuff at the time, so I thought, you know what, let me give it a shot. Let me go back. I'm going to listen to the first album and see how it compares. And so surprisingly, it blew me away, not because it had a really great production value or because it resonated with me more than their other music, but it sounds like a completely different band. So for reference, the album that I was listening to a lot at the time was Milo Ziloto, which has Every Teardrop is a Waterfall, Paradise, Princess of China, and like all of these songs that emphasized the electronic pianos and the synths and the effects. And so when I went back all the way to Parachutes, you don't have any of that. I think there's maybe only one electric keyboard on one or two songs, but for the most part, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, acoustic drums, very, very raw vocal takes where you can hear Chris Martin sing a little sharp or a little flat in places.
Yellow is indeed Walgreens core.
It is indeed Walgreens core. And so, obviously I knew Yellow and I liked Yellow, but compared to the rest of the album, based on if there was a list of top songs with the color and the name, I think Yellow would be probably one of the most popular, but I don't know if it's one of the best. It's very cool. At their concerts, they always shine yellow lights on the little wristbands that they give you. Anyway,
just like best. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun video to do.
Yeah, or maybe like pick a song for every color on the color spectrum. Yeah. But then you listen to the album and you have
Green Onion. That's a good one.
Green Onions.
Fucking love Green Onions.
That's pretty good for Green. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We could do this all day.
I've never heard this damn album, so I have nothing to go on.
That's okay. And we're also bad at listening to each other.
Yellow! I've heard that.
I will say, it's definitely an album that the certain songs are definitely going to stick out, but like for very chill specific moments. Like if you're driving alone in the car at night, or if you're sitting in your room and, well, that's orange. It's not exactly...
Whatever, it's a car, isn't it?
That's true. It's a very situation specific album, but when you're in the right situation and you need something chill and atmospheric to listen to, this is it. You got songs like Shiver, which is a pretty good upbeat acoustic rock song. You have songs like Spies, which is, I think, right after Shiver, and it is like a 5.5 minute atmospheric sort of Pink Floyd-y sounding song. Then you get into Sparks and not Spiders. I can't remember what that... I think it might be Spiders. I don't know. Just so many songs on here. I don't think there's a single song that I don't like. But because this song the songs on this album are all kind of slow burns, especially towards the end. When you get to the latter half of the album, Spies. Oh yeah, no, I said Spies. It's at what's the song after Yellow? Trouble. Yeah. Trouble. That's the one with the spiders in it. But yeah, no. Once you get to the title track, Parachutes, which is like a nice 1.5-minute long interlude, every song after that is kind of whatever. There's like 3 songs and then a bonus track on the if you skip forward in the CD. Which, can we bring that back? Like, if we bring physical media back, can you bring back hidden tracks?
Dude, what do you mean bring it back? It never went away.
I know, but there's just like, now they show up as extra songs on an album, or like when you go to a pop album where every song is like 4 minutes or whatever, and then you see the last one is 10 minutes. It's like, oh, okay, that's got a hidden track in it. It spoils the surprise. You know, it's like we can tell when a new song is gonna. If there was some way to program a hidden song that doesn't get registered when you look it up on Spotify, and it just like it acts as like a portal, and like when you get to the end of the song, it just, and I don't know. I'm not here to talk about technology. I'm here to talk about music. But yeah, I love that first album so much, and I know compared to their later albums and a lot of the stuff that they're more popular for, the first album for a lot of people I don't think will hold up as far as the production value goes or the musicianship of the band goes. But what's cool about that album, and I think part of the reason why I have such a personal attachment to it, is in college I was in a production class or an engineering class where we had to do basically a sound-alike recording. So we had to find a song and partner up with one of our other classmates and try to faithfully record the song as accurately as possible so that it sounds almost exactly like the original. So our teacher would A and B the 2 versions of the song to see if the tempo is 100% correct, if the key is 100% correct, if any little technical things that you hear in the production matches. And I ended up choosing a song from that album. I ended up choosing Shiver. And so I was encouraged by our professor to try to reach out to the original producers if they have an email or a mailing list or whatever. And so I reached out to the producer of Coldplay's first album, and he fucking got back to me. And I emailed him asking, like, hey, do you know, I think the guitarist's name is Guy. I was like, do you know what guitar settings Guy was using on the record, specifically on Shiver? And he got back to me and he was like, oh, hey, cool that you're doing a project. Yeah, I can't exactly remember what pedals he was using, but I know what amp he was using. I think it was an Orange model amp. And I'm so upset because I never got back to that producer, but I have it in my school email somewhere. And it just left such an impression on me. And I was like, wow, I kind of in a way talked to someone who worked on that album. And years later, I would go to see Coldplay live, and like I mentioned, it was one of those at Soldier Field in Chicago where you walk in, and for some shows, I know they give you wristbands with LED cubes or boxes on the top of the wristband, so almost like a watch, but instead of a watch face that you can actually use practically, it's just a box that lights up. And for the song Yellow, all of the boxes, like, they lit up yellow, so everyone put their hands in the air and they were listening to Chris and the boys play it live, and that was like probably one of my most favorite concert experiences ever. So I like Coldplay. I know they get a lot of shit, probably not as much anymore, but that first album, if you're looking for an album to chill to or songs to put on a rainy day when you're cleaning up your house or your apartment, check out Parachutes. I know Sparks kind of went popular on TikTok for a while because it's a nice slow acoustic-y ballady thing. It's also in the movie Wedding Crashers, so if you watch Wedding Crashers, Now you know to listen out for Coldplay. Sweet old Chris and the gang. I talked this whole time. I'm sorry, bud.
Cold Fuego.
Okay.
Well, like I said, I've heard Yellow.
Yeah.
Not a big fan because Walgreens Core. But
yeah. No. I mean, I'll definitely have to show you the Pink Floyd-y songs, because there are a couple of out there slower reverby.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Coldplay. Like, they're not like Nickelback status memed, but like,
yeah,
they're not exactly,
they're not super respected.
I feel like that's just one of those bands that people like pretend to shit on.
Yeah,
but secretly they like listen to them because those numbers don't lie.
No,
there's a lot. There's like 2 fucking million.
Yeah,
listens or some shit on that song. So,
which is it's ridiculous, and in one aspect because there are some bands that I look up on Spotify that have way less listeners than I imagine, or way more. And Coldplay, I think they're one of the only bands where like the popularity kind of makes sense, or it did for a little bit. I don't know if people are listening to Coldplay a whole lot anymore, but
yeah, 66 million monthly listeners.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you motherfuckers are definitely listening to that shit. Don't lie. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not, but
listen to that first album. It's got some good stuff on it.